Hey folks, welcome back to the Tekkit SMP world. Today we have a quick tutorial in our hands. I've been kind of going through the motion of getting unlimited EMC for the Project Red mod pack. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on it, and we're going to set up a quote unquote unlimited EMC farm, if you will. But first, I'm gonna show you. I'm moving the EMC flower into here, and it's doing pretty good. But right now, EMC is too low to get everything to be Mark III. So I have Mark II relays and then Mark III collectors, but those are 600,000 EMC a piece. So you see how that gets expensive pretty fast. So this brings us to our next subject today. Well, first, one of the old EMC, unlimited EMC farms was with blaze rods. So if you macerate a blaze rod, let's see if we can do it here. It's going to be slow, but we can do it while we're talking. How about that? So we're going to grab a blaze rod. Oof, tongue twister. And a blaze rod, when it's macerated, will create 3 blaze powder. It only takes 2 blaze powder in EMC to create 1 blaze rod. So you see how, if you put 2 to 2 together, you see how this could be used for an EMC farm. So here we go. 3 blaze powder. Just for giggles, we'll go ahead and show you what I mean. So let's put a blaze rod in a condenser and put 2 blaze powder. Boom. 1 blaze powder left over. Bada bing, bada boom. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this rotary macerator, which the longer it runs, the faster it gets. I'll repeat that one more time. The longer it runs and macerates, the faster it gets. So as long as you have a constant supply of things that need to be macerated, it will continue to run and the speed gets faster all the way to 100%. So it gets pretty fast and it can pump out a lot at full speed. So that's what we're trying to, that's our goal with this machine here. And a rotary macerator is quite annoying to make. Let me go ahead and pull up the recipe. So you need a macerator, an advanced machine block, and the scrap metal blades, and or I guess or not and obsidian blades. I highly recommend doing the obsidian blades because all these obsidian blades are just flint and obsidian dust from a macerator, and you take the raw obsidian blade and compress it in a compressor. Bada bing, bada boom. Then you just need a total of 14 and boom. These scrap metal blades are kind of annoying to make because you need scrap metal chunks. So you need to compress 8 scrap metals to make a scrap metal chunk. And to make scrap metal, you need a recycler. And a recycler, it does all this. So an axe, a pickaxe, a shovel, they make them various degrees. The iron sword doesn't always work. Most of the time it's iron ingots, but here's your chance for it to drop. And then yada, yada, yada. It gets annoying pretty fast, especially if you're just feeding it ingots, because the ingot probability is not good, 25%. So every 4 ingots, you get 1 scrap metal, essentially. So if we go back to these, you get 8 scrap metal, then you get a scrap metal chunk. And then you take the flint and surround it, and you need 7 of those scrap metal blades. Yada, yada, yada. This is significantly easier in my case. If you don't have you should already have a compressor set up either way. So this one is significantly easier to get and less of a headache than this. Anyways, that brings us to here. So today we're going to be using these item translocators. They're awesome. They're item movers. They're like pipes, but they're only 1 block and they're super fast. boom. That, I mean, I summed it up perfectly there. You can filter out, you can put filters on them, and I'll show you here in a second, but we need a few more of these. These are not super tricky to create. A little bit of iron, a little bit of redstone, one gold piston, and ender pearls. So let's go ahead and get, first off, let's dump that in. Let's get our ender pearls. I'm gonna grab a stack. 16 should be pretty good. Gold, we don't need that much gold. Let's just grab 32. Iron, let's grab a whole stack. Piston, hang on, I'm counting in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 9 of these. So I need 7 more. So I need 7 pistons. Quick math, right? And then let's grab a stack of redstone. With our handy benches over here, we can go ahead and set this up. And then boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. And of course, it's only in 2s, so that's fine as well. All right, here we go. So we're going to make a loop here with these item translocators. So first, I want a place where blaze powder will go. So we're going here. And then I want, next, I want the blaze powder to go into a condenser to make blaze rods. And then third, I want a catch for all of my blaze rods. And then I want a condenser here. So first, back to first, I forgot I only have floors. Back to first, we're going to take our item translocator. We're going to crouch and apply it to the side of the macerator. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and crouch and apply another one to the bottom of our alchemical chest here. So you see how this middle piece is sticking out here? That means the item translocator is trying to pull out and put in. Giggity. If you click the middle, it retracts. So now we're pulling out from the macerator, and follow the rainbow, it goes into the alchemical chest. Follow me here. If you crouch and click these item translocators, sorry, you don't need to crouch and click. If you click outside, so the outer ring of the translocators, you can set the filter. We don't need filters. So we'll go ahead and place our other translocators. So coming out of our blaze powder catch, we want to put translocators that will feed the blaze powder into our energy condenser, and then they go into the condenser and get condensed into blaze rods, and then we want the blaze rods to be translocated out into the blaze rod catch, and then we're going to put our item translocator there, and then we'll go under here, put there. Then we want our blaze rods to come back out into the rotary macerator, making an endless loop, right? Follow me here. We're also going to stick a translocator on this other condenser here. That way, if we get to a point where this is so full, okay, or we get to a point where we want to get some EMC flowing, we can just click here and we'll start dumping blaze rods into this condenser, and I'll show you. Once we get it up and running, I'll show you. So let's start it off. Let's get a stack of blaze rods. Okay? And dump it in here. Now the wait starts. So as you can see, every couple seconds the machine is up and running. So it gets faster and faster the more it runs. Like I was saying, as you can see, the speed increases, and then as it gets faster, the speed increases faster too. So it's like a multiplier effect, if you will. I don't think that's the correct term. But as you just saw, we completed a maceration of a blaze rod. So let's see if we can catch it actually flying through the air. You can actually see the items flying through the air. See, there's 3. Now we have 9 blaze rods here in our condenser. So we want to make blaze rods. Not blaze rods, it was blaze powder, sorry. Anyways, we have that. So now we have blaze rods up here. Keeping it full. Bada bing, bada boom. So now what I want to do is sit. How much? I'm not pulling that much energy yet. So one concern I do have, I don't think we're going to have a problem with it, is how much energy this thing's going to pull. I think we have a lot of overkill here, but we'll see how far it gets. So from here, I tried. So the reason I'm using the translocators is, as you can see, it can move a pretty fast quantity. It can move items, a large quantity of items pretty fast without like moving a whole stack. I think you can filter these to where it will move a whole stack, but we don't need that. Pipes were too slow. They wouldn't keep the rotary macerator full to keep it at 100% speed or keep it anywhere close to having blazer rods in it. I tried a bunch of different options like emerald transport pipes, distribution transport pipe, which tells I can count how many items can go. So I had the distribution transport pipe like pumping 5 or 10 into the rotary macerator, and every 5 or 10 it would pump 1 into the condenser. This A looks better, looks cleaner. B is just quicker and keeps everything flowing and keeps everything full. So as you can see, we've already made 20 more blaze rods from the 64, from the stack we originally put in there. So I'm gonna let this run for a little bit. Looks like we're still keeping up with power. I'm not sure. I'm not worried about that now that I think of it. So we'll let this run for a little bit, and I'll get back. I'm gonna cut the video, and then once this is at 100% speed, I'll come back and we can see how it's doing. Okay, folks, we're back. As you can see, it's been speeding up, and it's going fast. We're only at 93%. It's been about like 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. I watched a couple of TikToks in the meantime, and here we are. Maybe I'm gonna say 5 minutes. How about that, just to be safe? Anyways, as you can see, we're about to hit 100% speed. We have nothing in our backflow, so that's good, or backup. But in the meantime, I mean, we've got 3 stacks of blaze rods just by heating up. So let's get to 100% here. We're at 100% speed. So now maybe a blaze rod per second. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we'll be able to tell here. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty quick. You get stacks fast. So that's the main parts of it. So we can just pretend here that this is like halfway full after you've gone off and worked somewhere else in the factory, if you will. So we're over here, we're setting something up, and then 30 minutes later we come over and we're halfway full. So I want to get rid of some of that and condense it into something even more. So let's get some dark matter rolling. So we need some dark matter for who knows. So we'll just click this. Remember not to squat. Click this, and then boom, it will just empty out. So we'll let this go. We'll let it completely drain. How about that? That way we can see what the damage was. So After 3 stacks and 10 blaze rods, we got 3 dark matter. So you can see how this becomes ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Bear with me. Ridiculously insane. This is a cool one that I remember back in the day. So this will work on Tekkit 2, I believe, as well, since it uses the translocators mod as well. I remember when I was playing Tekkit 2, the translocator bugs out sometimes, but I think that depends on the item. And since these are vanilla Minecraft items, it doesn't really matter, I would say. But I'll let this run for like 10 or 20 minutes to see if anything happens. Um, it still looks like we're only running on one of these thermal generators and nothing else, so that's pretty nice. We have plenty of power to spare. So we could have 2 of these bad boys. Look, it's already back up to a stack almost, which is really nice. So that's that. That's our infinite EMC loop. I'm surprised Project Red has kept this kept this little feature, if you will, with the blaze rods macerating into blaze powder. I don't know if that might be industrial craft actually, but as you can see, it gets broken fast. We'll never have to worry about needing anything that has an EMC value now. So yeah, we're already stacking them up. So let's call it there. This isn't a different episode. I have a feeling this EMC episode's probably gonna get uploaded before this one. This is just me making thermal generators and piping all that in. So that's gonna be another episode. Wait for that. But I have a feeling since this is a quick tutorial on this EMC loop, yeah, this will be posted pretty fast because it's easy to put together. Other than that, let's get you know the process here. Let's get our no, I don't want that in the frame yet. Bada bing, bada boom. Heck yeah. All right. Well, a quick synopsis. We have our rotary macerator. As you can see, it gets fast as it's heated up and running. It's macerating blaze rods into blaze powder. We translocate it into one chest for backup storage, and then we translocate it into a condenser that condenses into blaze rods. And so we get 3 blaze powders for every blaze rod, and it only takes 2 to create a blaze rod. And then blaze rods are condensed, and they go into our backup here and keep our rotary macerator full, so we stay at 100% speed. As this becomes too full, we click our button here to pump it into our condenser that's making whatever we want. And then whenever we have more space, we can just whatever. To cut the loop, if you will, to cut off the supply, you just click here. And then just let it run out. Bada bing, bada boom. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode. I didn't want to really, like I said, I was on the fence about making this, but since some of these builds are getting kind of expensive EMC wise, and I want to make like a big old giant flower for EMC, I just decided to go ahead and do it and said, what the heck. And it's also just a cool tutorial to post as well. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, favorite, subscribe, comment, do what you want to do. Give me any feedback. I still need to know what type of armor I want to wear. So leave a comment with that. These Thaumcraft robes, they're chafing a little bit. So I would appreciate if you have a more comfort solution, if you will. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next time.